So this is Bootstrap Part 2. I'm using this as a class project with it as well. So in here, let me back the train up a little bit so you don't confuse and I kind of jump the horse. I don't want the horse before the wagon before the horse here with it. But you need to understand why do people are using Bootstrap and all that, and I share with you why, and what is responsive design and what does it need and all this stuff with it. But as we get into the reason why, a little history about Bootstrap with it, and why Bootstrap comes about with it. And I share with you, it was back in, I remember it was like somewhere I'll say about June 2014. Bootstrap before that was really growing leaps and bounds with it. And Bootstrap was actually developed by a guy named Mark Otto and Jacob Thornton at Twitter with it. I shared with you a few minutes ago. And they actually released their source code, and they put it on GitHub. It's a website where we actually put our code and we share all the codes with other folks with it. And that's where the Bootstrap was it was growing leaps and bounds. The whole community got involved, and other folks just really contribute to the growth of Bootstrap with it. So you might think, so if that's the case, why are we using why Bootstrap over other technology with it? So it's still a really good way how there's more benefits from running Bootstrap out there. Matter of fact, 64% of websites out there are Bootstrap websites, believe it or not. For a programmer, a front-end developer, 80% of a programmer's life, my career, I have maintained other people's code. So I have to know something about Bootstrap with it. All right. What are some advantages of Bootstrap that you can see? And Bootstrap is just really cool, and but it's really easy to learn. The learning curve is not that steep with it. So some advantages of Bootstrap with it. First of all, I just share with you is that it's easy to learn. Anyone with a knowledge of HTML and CSS can use Bootstrap. So if you didn't up to this point, well, it's very simple to use and understand. The second thing is I share with you, it's responsive, right? And Bootstrap is responsive CSS. You can adjust it on a phone or desktop or a tablet. That's why we use it, because it's responsive with it. The third part is it was designed in mind as a mobile-first approach to it. So in Bootstrap 3, this is a test question you need to know. In Bootstrap number 3 was one of the earlier version that was used back in 2015 with it. It was designed for a mobile device, and you need to know this one. This is a test question, by the way. The fourth reason why you use it is, it works with basically every web browser out there. It's very user friendly. You don't have to. By the way, this IE is no longer around, so I'm just going to remove that with it. But all the modern, up-to-date browsers that you have out there are Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, and Safari. These 4 browsers, they are very user friendly, and it does the layout very well with it. All right, so that's you need to know about that with it. So as you go through here, I want you to make some notes or write down some of the stuff that we talk about with it. Where do you get Bootstrap? Well, I'll show you where to get Bootstrap is the CDN file with it. All right. So there's 2 ways you can get Bootstrap on your website and with it as well. 2 ways with it. So you can either download it from bootstrap.com is one. Is where I with it, and the other ones include your Bootstrap from a CDN. Okay, so you can actually 2 ways. So we're going to do the second way in this exercise right now with it. I'm going to have you include the CDN inside of the file with it as well. I'm just going to put the gobootstrap.com up here so you could see where all the documentation is. I'm just copy this right here, and you can download this. And let me change this link, bootstrap.com. The actual link is this one right here. Download that with it as well. So it's really easy to use with it, and you go to that website. You just copy and paste that URL, and you paste it into your code with it, and it works just as well with it as well. Let's talk about the Bootstrap CDN, the content delivery network that we are looking at with it. So in the content delivery network, which is the CDN, I'm going to refer everything as the CDN in here with it. So so if you don't want to download the whole Bootstrap yourself, you can include the CDN. This is what we're going to do with it. The Max CDN, which is the maximum content delivery, provides the CDN network support to the Bootstrap of the CSS and JavaScript. So the Jquery, which a lot of you don't know what this is, just bear with me with the lingo in the sentence that I wrote here. The Jquery, that is the JavaScript query, which is the JavaScript code. You can actually pull out a lot of the stuff which I just provided for you in the code above with it as well. So let me just give you, you don't have to know this, just know that it exists. There's 3 parts to the CDN with it. Let me just give you these 3 parts in here. Here's the first part. Is the Jquery. You got to have the Jquery, which is the file that's located on here with it. And the second part is this is the CSS. The Jquery is this part. My apology. And the latest part is the JavaScript part with it. So these 3 are commented out, and you're going to be using all 3 of these lines in your head section of your code with it as well. So what are one of the major advantages that I really like about using Bootstrap Content Delivery Network is any time when these files are updated, it just changes everything for you with it. So it makes it really easy to update any new technology out there with it. So this is a huge advantage that to use Bootstrap in here is that you're going to see that many of the users already have downloaded the Bootstrap Max CDN when visiting another site with it. So when the website changes, the browser changes, it just automatically changes your technology for you with it. So almost all the CDNs will make sure that once the users request the file from it, it will serve it from the server closest to them. So this web server is throughout the entire world with it. So what does that mean? It helps your file to load a lot quicker, a lot faster in a lot of the stuff that you are trying to, which is, speed is, optimization is huge. All right. So this is what I'm talking about with it, is that once this is uploaded, you got this thing made with it as well. The second thing is that I mentioned to you what's called a Jquery, which stands for a JavaScript query with it, and it's a JavaScript kind of like a plugin with it as well. So so you do need this Jquery part in here with it, and what the Jquery is a Bootstrap that uses the Jquery for like modals, tooltips, things that are like a plug-in to the browser with it. All right, just like if you're using a CSS part to your Bootstrap, then you don't need a Jquery. But we're just going to use this file, just put it up there. It's not going to hurt anything with it. So let me stop right now. We're going to, this is the end of part 2. We're gonna start coding on the next part. I know I've been talking a lot, but I have to give you the behind the scene on the videos, behind the scene on what's the Bootstrap concept before we move forward. So I'm going to stop the video. This is the end of part 2 of the Bootstrap for the project class project.